We caught up with best-selling author Kyle Fitzharris at Barnes & Noble for his recent book signing on his new thriller, The New Americans.
So it was like, you know.
So is it to Bonnie or is it to somebody else?
No, it's to Bonnie.
Okay.
N-N-I-E.
I-E.
I-E.
So today's the 28th. There we go. How's that? If you don't like it, peel it off.
We sat down with Kyle to interview him and learn more about this up-and-coming author.
I was born in the Midwest, and I moved around a lot, so I had to constantly reinvent myself and make friends in different ways. And in the late 70s, I landed in Omaha, Nebraska, and I had terrible dyslexia. So my parents put me in a school called Creighton Prep, which is an all-boy Jesuit school. And it was the perfect place to have that issue of my dyslexia dealt with, and they really encouraged me to channel my imagination into writing, and I published my first short story when I was 15, and the rest is history.
How did you get involved in the field of intelligence?
Well, in 1984, I was chosen to be a liaison for the West Germans, an American liaison for the West Germans at the 1984 Olympics. And I got a chance to meet a lot of interesting international people. In '85, I graduated from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln and did my postgraduate work in '85 and '86 at UCLA. And as all graduates and postgraduates realize, there's not a whole lot of jobs to be had. And one day, Central Intelligence Agency came calling and recruited me. And for the next few years after that, I got a chance to do some traveling worldwide and spent a lot of time in Mexico and Central America.
Kyle, where do you come up with the inspiration for your writing?
As any good writer knows, truth is stranger than fiction. And when I was undercover in a cartel in Central America, I had the opportunity to see government corruption, drug trafficking, murder for hire, all these terrible things firsthand. And I really had no choice but to put pen to paper eventually and fictionalize a lot of these true events and put as much into what had really happened as possible, so that the reader could really get a feel for how these things really go down.
Kyle, can you tell us a little bit about your writing style and also about your new thriller, The New Americans?
Well, as a writer, it's my responsibility to write thrilling, suspenseful drama, and I really feel that a lot of books these days don't respect the readers enough to challenge them and bring them on a thrilling journey. So I've spent a lot of time in places like Ireland and around the world, and so when I write about these characters, I try to get the reader immersed into the culture, into the dialect or the patois, and to really give them a good feeling for not only the characters, as colorful as they can be, but as the story develops, bring them down the primrose path and then maybe misdirect them and making it as thrilling and suspenseful as possible. So at the end of the book, they really feel like they've been on a roller coaster ride. Well, the story begins with an Irish Red Cross aid worker who comes to Los Angeles after the tragic tsunami in Indonesia, and she comes just ahead of about 100 orphan children from the Sumatran tsunami, and just before she can make the arrangements to have host families adopt these children, she gets kidnapped by the Russian mafia. And in the interim, her godfather is just being released from Belfast political prison, and he's flying to Los Angeles to meet her and make sure everything goes smoothly. But of course, the second he steps off the plane, all hell breaks loose.
We understand you are involved with the Wounded Warriors. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, after The Eighth Plague came out, it became a bestseller, and evidently someone at the Pentagon had read it. This had been around 2009, 2010, and they had contacted the Secretary of Defense, who then contacted me and invited me to the Pentagon for a special program. And when I arrived at the Pentagon, I had been handpicked by the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, and by way of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Department of Defense. And I was really lavished with the opportunity to take a C-17 and fly around up and down the eastern seaboard and visit all the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and U.S. Coast Guard bases. Get a chance to meet the active military personnel and veterans, get a feel for what their lives are and the challenges that they and their families have to face every day from being deployed and post-deployed servicemen and women. So Wounded Warriors is a cause that's very deep in my heart, and I spend a lot of time fundraising as much as I can and promoting their issues, good and bad, throughout my writing.
What can we expect from you in the future?
Well, The New Americans is doing very well, but like any good novelist, you're always writing. So my upcoming thriller is Scorched, which revolves around a wounded warrior amputee and a group of terrorists who are bound to destroy our satellite communications as well as drive us into World War III. It's very thrilling. It's action-packed. It'll take us around the world, but it'll be unique in the sense that the main character is not only a wounded warrior but an amputee, and the challenges that character is going to have to face in the midst of an action-packed thriller.
That's terrific, Kyle. Tell us a little bit more about how we get more information about how to purchase your book and information on you in general.
You can get The New Americans at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com or at any of your Barnes & Noble or other retail book outlets. You can learn more about me as a writer, a lot of what I've done in the past, all of the work that I'm doing with Wounded Warriors, my time with the Pentagon, and being a guest of the DoD. So yeah, go to www.kylefitzharris.com, have a look. There'll be some interesting videos, a lot of photos, and you get some background on me as well, and the books.